3 years ago, I bought an old cheap cabin in the Swedish forest that needed lots of work. It was on the market originally for less than 30,000 US dollars, and coming from London where I couldn't afford to buy anything, I figured it was worth a shot, taking on a project I had no idea I could complete. 3 years later, this is everything I've built. Let's start by taking a few quick minutes to recap all the renovations I did in the first 2 years before I delve into year 3. The plan was to turn this old cheap cabin into a warm space, covered in wood with lots of integrated furniture and storage to make clever use of the limited space. Something cozy and minimal enough so I might actually be able to build it myself, since before this I had no experience building anything. The blue room in the back was dark and the kitchen small, so I took out the wall in between, creating a back entrance with a small toilet and a bigger kitchen. That's where I started. The blue room had water damage, destroying the back wall, ceiling and flooring, and as I demolished it I found more and more damage along the way. I replaced the joists, ceiling, floor, and experienced my first cold winter in that dark back room. I created a small room for a toilet. This is when I realized building new is much faster than demolishing and fixing the old. I made a small unit for bins and toilet paper and painted everything green. After laying the first section of floor in the entrance, I turned the creepy storage underneath the stairs into a unit for mail, gloves and shoes. Next to it, I built a wardrobe for coats out of MDF and wrapped this around the old brick chimney into the kitchen, where it encased the fridge and turned into shelving for more storage. This is where I store coats and my recycling bins. I added a curtain to separate the space from the kitchen, but also allow easy movement between the rooms. The original kitchen was small and had a third exterior door which seemed excessive, so I exchanged that door for a window, adding light and a great view. In front, I'd made a very unstable countertop with a new sink, which had been a playground for mice that first winter, and wobbled whenever I used it. Turning this construction zone into a space with walls, flooring, and actually finishing the entire kitchen was a huge relief. Fixing the counters to the walls was a great feeling. I kept the space very minimal and added some modern Japanese-inspired joinery details. One of the reasons the design was so simple was because I was using the cheaper construction timber and I was very much working within my limited abilities at the time. Let's backtrack quickly. One of my very first projects was to winterize the water before the first freeze. My parents visited when I first bought that house and helped me with the most urgent tasks. My mum dug a long trench so we could bury the water pipes, fitted heat tape, insulation, and then I was left with a sad shed for the water pump. I added a foundation and built a new insulated shed around the old one using mostly leftover materials from the house and created a perfectly imperfect water pump house that survived the cold winter. By spring, I was sick of not having a decent workspace, so I built a simple workbench next to the house, which made my life so much easier. By now, I'd survived my first year, and I figured I'd try my hand at gardening. I made a few vegetable beds and decided to build a greenhouse, a very simple structure with plastic sheets at the front that I could pull up to expose the vegetables. Unfortunately, it was a huge fail. It wasn't until the next summer when my parents visited with some corrugated plastic that I changed the design and finished it. I created a dormer, put in a little roof, made a table, and of course lots of space for vegetable plants. Back inside I had big plans for the 2 remaining rooms in the house, but working on those meant I'd have nowhere to live, so I took a detour and renovated the guest house. The initial plan was to throw some paint at it, but I was quickly ripping out the low ceiling so I could take advantage of the height and make it feel a little bigger. I added shelving, a desk, a sink with a bucket underneath because there's no running water, and found myself with a cute extra space for summer. Once I moved in, I began to work on the study. I put in a timber floor and built a library around the doorway to the kitchen with little accessory nooks and lots of shelving for books and cupboards for storage. Meanwhile, I had a chimney installer fix my crooked chimney on the roof and put in a new pipe and liner so I can install a wood stove in the living room and finally be able to heat that part of the house. This is where I left off after the first 2 years of renovating. This is year 3. have something exciting happening. That's my stove, my little wood stove. Isn't she cute? Here. I am in this room starting to put that wall together so I can build a desk in front of it. Morning realizations. This is why I wanted this desk against this wall. It gets really nice morning light. Oh, I'm loving this. Perfect fits. That's amazing. You know, I can't quite tell you how much pleasure I get from standing here and looking at all of these clean lines. Yeah, I guess slowly moving forward. And now I'm moving on to this wall. So we have a banquette seating, and then the middle section is going to pull out to turn into a bed space. Look at this. This is very solid. Let me show you. I can lie on this, which is good because this is going to be my bed. I got a whole bunch of these. Ooh! Okay. Number 2. Little doors. 2 of them. I just finished renovating this room. I have a library, a desk, a bed, a comfortable reading nook, and this is the perfect spot to enjoy a coffee. Turns out I need a side table. Let's see if I have any leftovers. This stain is like an ink black, and it is so cool. Wow. This is the little hallway between the two main rooms. I don't really use it unless I lock up the house. Apart from being entrance, I've also decided to give this room an additional function because I don't have anywhere when it's cold to really dry laundry, and I figured I can actually turn it into a space where I can add drying opportunities. So I'm going to figure that out as well. Oh my gosh, look at that. little bit high. Oh, I can dry clothes here. This is the thing. I can dry items and I can still open the door to the attic. That's why it's so high. I just watched this YouTube video of this Korean house being built from scratch, and I don't know why, but it borderline made me cry. I am officially starting this living room renovation. It's actually happening, who knew? The day has come for my living room renovation. Oh. What I'm excited about most in this room is that it is going to have so much storage and it's going to fix all of my problems. This entire wall, except for the window obviously, is going to have a wardrobe. Floor is done. I figured I owe you all a proper final view. So nice. I just want to say that I absolutely love the way this looks. I wish it would look this good forever. almost double function. I cycled to the hardware store. I managed to find wood. I have almost everything that I need. This first wardrobe door is going to be the least nice one because things don't really match up all that well. I've cut things a little bit too big or too small, so there's some gaps. So I'm going to try and adjust that for the other ones. And I don't know, if it's imperfect, then it's just going to be imperfect. They're going to need a bit of adjustments, but I can start storing things in here now. I'm starting my first real outdoor project this summer, right here. I'm going to make this patio look a lot better. seems like I finally found a use for my hammer drill. Oh dear, how am I going to do this? This is such a ridiculous idea. Good news is, the top part of this patio is in. Yeah, so I'm going to continue with steps. Look at this. Isn't this the cutest? I'm going to make a little table right here. I've put a lot of wood in my guest house. I have wood at the front of the house. I have wood everywhere and I need those spaces clear. So I am going to build a little storage unit. I'm going to build something right here. Wow! It's actually level. This is the size of a person. You know, perhaps I could turn this into an Airbnb. I'm in front of my guest house and I'm going to be building some more storage down here. Last year I made this really awful firewood storage in a day, and this year I'm going to make one down this side of the house, which is going to be an improvement. I'm on my own roof. Oh, this is sticky. This is amazing. I built something and I'm on top of it. It's quite stable. It's definitely better than what I did before. Also, it would be a really cute trail shelter for a hiker. I could lie here. I think it's time for my new biggest summer project. Okay, I have this side of the house which is a huge mess. This old porch is half demolished, half hanging in there, but I want to take advantage of this and turn it into something really cute. This project is scaring me, but I really want to do it. Oh my gosh. This is very heavy. Okay. I know this doesn't look like much, but just that took a really long time. Wow. The next stage is to paint. I'm also going to design a little seat. I need to figure out what I want it to look like. I got my first leg. It doesn't... oh, it's very wonky. So even though it's a little wonky, it's cute though, isn't it? I managed to cut all of the pieces and I also sanded them down, so now I have a whole bunch of legs and they are ready to be assembled. This bench is huge. You know, this is definitely a little bit like a Studio Ghibli bench. It's got the little feet, the little animal feet. I can absolutely imagine Totoro sitting next to me right now. Okay, this side is not going to have a backrest, which is why this is rounded off at the top here instead. it just looks so nice. And I wasn't quite sure whether this cladding was just going to make it look very bulky, but it looks really good. It looks really good. This little spot is actually quite magical. It actually is.